Okay, so now we want to look at this practice problem. Okay, and so basically it's asking, well, what, in the first part, we're talking about the Great Recession, and it's asking what happens. Okay, so in terms of the way we can look at this, we can imagine, first of all, if there is no activity on the part of the government. So in this case, we say, well, the lending decreases, and so what is that going to mean? Well, since there's less lending, that means in terms of the borrowing, well, if there's less lending, there's going to be less borrowing. Okay, so from the perspective of that, what's that going to mean for consumption and investment? It means they're both going to fall. And so in that sense, since they're both components of aggregate demand, it means both are going to cause the aggregate demand to fall. Okay, and so in terms of our graph, what is that going to mean? Okay, so let's try to start this from drawing the aggregate demand first. Short-run aggregate supply. Okay. So what we have is, our initial equilibrium in the long run, okay, our kind of starting point, then this change happens. Okay, and so what's going to be the effect? Well, we're saying the aggregate demand is going to fall, and so what we have is a shift of the aggregate demand curve to the left. Okay, so what do we have in the short run? Again, where is the short-run equilibrium? Where the short-run aggregate supply curve and the aggregate demand curve cross? So in the short run, we're going to have the reverse of what we had for the Nixon stimulus, where we say the price goes down and also the output. Okay, the price level decreases and output decreases. Okay, and so the question is what's supposed to happen in the long run? Okay, the long run, again, it's the idea that input prices adjust, they catch up. And so the input prices in this case are going to fall. Okay, and since the input prices are going to fall rather than rise, okay, what do we have now? Well, we have the short run aggregate supply shifting now to the right. Okay, so where's our long run equilibrium? It's basically where, again, we have the AD curve, in this case the new one, and the new SRAS, and where it crosses with the long run aggregate supply curve. Okay, and so we have that here. Okay, so in terms of what happens, we're basically saying, well, the price level in the long run is going to fall, but relative to where we were initially, the output is going to be unchanged.